All right, lesson 44, take 2. My husband decided to interrupt. Football starting soon, so yeah, he needed some stuff. Anyway, lesson 44 is on division answers, and it basically just means different ways that we can write answers from division problems. So they can either be with a remainder, as a decimal, or as a mixed number. So we are going to use these steps over here to solve these division problems. And this is how I remember what the steps are. I write it out as does McDonald's serve cheeseburgers raw, which is divide, multiply, subtract, check, bring down, remainder. So we're going to go through those steps now. So our problem is 54 divided by 4. So first, we already know we have our D, we're dividing. And then we're going to multiply. What times 4 is 5? So it's 1. 1 times 4 is 5. So we put down the 4, and then we go to our next step. We're going to subtract 4 from 5, which is 1. We check and see we have another number that can be used. So we bring down our 4, go back up to the top and multiply. We're going to do 3. 3 times 4 is 12. So then we subtract, and we get 2. We check. There's no more numbers. So for this instance, we're going to go ahead and have a remainder. So 13 remainder 2. Okay, now we're going to do it this time. The same numbers. This time we're going to do it for a decimal. So we're dividing. We need to multiply. 1 times 4 is 4. Subtract. Check. We have another number. We're going to bring it down. Multiply again. Subtract. Check. We don't have another number, but the problem tells us not to have a remainder. So we don't need this step at all. So what we're going to have to do is add a decimal and put another number in to bring down. So we have 20. And 4 times 5 is 20. So we put 0.5. 20. Subtract 0, so there's no remainder. There shouldn't have been because the problem told us to have a decimal number. So it's 13.5. All right, and then the last way. All right, so we're going to multiply, subtract, check, bring down, multiply, subtract, check. There's not another number. It doesn't tell us to use a remainder, and it doesn't tell us to go to a decimal. It wants us to put it as a mixed number. So we're going to take the 2 and make it 2/4. 2/4 can be reduced to 1/2. So our final answer is 13 1/2. So that's our decimal answer with a remainder, decimal answer with a decimal, and our decimal answer with a mixed number. All right, and that is with long division. Now we're going to do a method of short division. All right, so short division we set up like that. We're going to divide our number into spots. Short division only works if this is a single digit number. It will not if it's double. So we do the same steps though, and multiply. So we subtract, and it's 1. We check and see there's another number there. So we're going to bring the 1 up over here and make this 14. Multiply. Subtract. We check, no other number. So this is our remainder, which goes back up here. And if we're going to do it, if it didn't want us to do a remainder but a mixed number, then we would still bring it up, and instead of writing remainder, it's 2/4, which we would go into 1/2. All right, so then we're going to do this again. And this time it's telling us to take it to a decimal. All right, so we multiply, subtract, check, multiply, subtract, and it wants us to do a decimal, so we go ahead, add the decimal, bring this up, multiply, subtract. Since that's a 0, we have no remainder, so it's 13.5. Right, and then we're going to do one more. We're going to do 9 divided by 37.4. And they're telling us not to, they want it to stay as a decimal because it's already a decimal, so we can't have a remainder. So we are going to multiply. 9's going to have to go into 37 because it's not going to go into 3. And that'll be 4. So it's 36. Subtract. Check. Bring down. Remember, you move your decimal. It's got to be up there in the answer already. So it's 14. So then we multiply again. It's going to be a 1, which would be 9. Subtract 5. They told us they want a remainder, so since we have a remainder, then we need to add to bring down. And then we multiply, which will be 5, which is 45. Subtract. We have another one. So then we need to add another number to bring down. 5 again. It's 45. So once we can see that this is going to be a repeating pattern, remember, 5 now we know is our repetend, so we can either write our final answer as 4.155 repeating, or 4.15 repeating, or 4.16 because we rounded it. Oh, actually, sorry, not 6. 5, 6. Because we rounded that one up because we knew the next number was going to be 5. So any of these can be our final answer for that one. And that is all for lesson 44.